Hello, everybody. Welcome to another tea time business education session with the three people from JMJ Business Strategies. My name is JJ Hardy, the coach.
I'm Jessica Kovacs. I am your HR expert.
And I'm MK. I do all things branding and graphic design.
Dream team right here. So today we have a very special episode for you. And, it's kind of taking it back to even more of the basics than we've talked about so far. And so this is defining your why. And when I think of defining your why, and, we're all going to add to this, it's not about what I think, but when I think of your why, I think of the reason that you're doing what you're doing. That's the very basic of it. I am doing what I'm doing as a leadership coach and a trainer because I have found a gap of training and, by the way, servant leadership in the civilian workforce. I'm retired from the U.S. Army. So that is my why. I am here to fill a training gap out in the civilian workforce because it's important. Mental health, everything. So does anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, so I think taking it back just a step real quick is finding your why, specifically to your organization. It's not only for you to show the passion and why you're where you are, but it also connects your business with your team, providing you the connection and the work that they do and helping define the reasons why you're doing it helps define the reason why they're here to help you. It builds culture, morale. It helps build your mission statements, your value statements. So those are, there's a really important reason why you need to define your why. And to JJ's point, finding that deep down, truly bottom of the barrel, what is the reason you are here today or wanting to get into owning your own business? So finding your why and defining that to yourself is really important.
Yes.
I think that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Definitely. I think it's really important to make that step like the first step before you get into even doing like your other things with your business, like your mission statement and your branding, all of that, because your reason, the reason why you're doing what you're doing kind of bleeds into every aspect of your business. And also it's a great way for you to check in too, because as things progress in your business, it's good to like go back and revisit and remember that like why you started this, because things will get tough and things will not always be smooth. And in those really tough, rough moments, it's really important to have something to grasp onto so you can have like a goal in mind, almost like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. And then you can see the end again.
Yeah, I love that, NK. I have to agree with you 100%. I mean, you are going to have hard times in your business. You're going to have success and things to celebrate. But to always have that root reason, especially in those hard times, it also helps you connect to other people. When they know your why and they hear your story on why you actually did this and what you connect to different people, because it's like-minded people will work with like-minded people. And maybe you're not in the same businesses, but you're connecting to those personalities that your why resonates with them. And that creates a bond. It's like, oh, NK, you and I have, a similar background in this, and JJ, you and I have a similar background in this. And that's what starts that relationship. So finding your why will help lead you into those directions. I agree.
And by the way, hello, Michael. Thank you for joining in on our call today. And I like your comment, but I'm not going to repeat it on there yet. I'd like you to say that why. I'd like to know what made you come to the conclusion that that it came fully formed in one shot. I'd like to hear more context in that. But yeah, you're right. Both of you are right. I think that when it comes to having that thing to always come back to, for me, my why is it is my entire mission. I have dealt with I've dealt with the benefits and the consequences of negative and positive consequences of having good leadership at work. Mm-hmm. And by the way, not just at work, but at home as well. I mean, we all have our backstory, but when it comes to having poor leadership, how much does that affect the mental health of not just one person, but it could could potentially affect many in a business? Well, if you don't have your why defined, you don't have a mission to gather around, then people are just kind of showing up to work every day. They're there. They know that they're running the cash register or running the forklift or doing whatever. But if they don't understand what the purpose of the company is and what the problem is that they're trying to solve, then they're just going through the motions so that they can have a paycheck every day.
I think it's important you decide and you treat your employees to understand your why. Again, because when they really truly understand the reasons you're doing things, they're going to be more either, and maybe it's not a fit for them, but they can find a fit and say, well, you know what, I believe in that too, or this is maybe not be my path, but that's something that my friend's gone through or something. You can, again, it's that connection that brings people in and they remember your why, which may not be the same as theirs, but they can go hand in hand.
Yeah. And like your why, it really is the foundation of your brand. And if people can't buy into your story and your why, which really is at the heart of all that you do, your clients aren't going to buy into that either. So it's like important for you not only to have your why for yourself, for your culture, for employees to buy into this creation that you're creating, but it's also even more important for you to buy into that, because if you believe in your business and your why, then your clients are going to see that and they're going to buy into it too. Because if they just see people going about, everyday things, just blah, blah, they're not going to buy into that, because there's going to be someone who has more passion, who is okay sharing their story and being real. And that's what they're going to be attracted to. And not that that's like an end goal, like that's not why you want to create your why, but it's just another like benefit to having one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's certain. Sorry,
ahead.
JJ, go ahead.
I
know we all really like this topic.
Well, it's a good topic. It's a good topic.
I know we're all excited.
Well, I talk a lot when I talk about goal setting. We talked about this last week in our networking call a little bit. But when we talk about setting goals, we talk about keeping the end in mind and planning everything to get yourself up to that point. Well, your why incorporates your mission, your vision, all of the goals that you have in your business, your entire business strategy, and everything that you do when you have a daily chat with your employees or whatever the case may be. Everything is rooted in your why. If you don't have a mission, a vision, you can't make a plan for execution, and you can't really guide a team in the right direction. And when it comes to all of those things, your overall business, that's its foundation right there. And if you don't understand what that is, then you're probably going to struggle a lot more, especially at first, until you develop that you got to develop a mission and a vision. You can't do that without understanding why the heck you're there.
So I think that's a good segue into like, how do you find your why? Because your why doesn't necessarily always just appear. It's not always just all of a sudden, this is my why. I know I always wanted to own my own business, but could I really sit down and tell you why I want to own my own business? I mean, even prior to when I was out in the workforce, I mean, we're talking back to high school. So my why was not very as simple to identify. So there are ways of identifying your why. And it's important that you take some time to really think about these things. One is identifying your value. What value do you bring to the business or to what passion you have? What passions do you have is another one. Learning your strengths and weaknesses, identifying your goals, and then testing and adjusting all of those that you've identified consistently, and making sure that you're always circling back and saying, is my why today the same as it was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, heck, a month ago, because you're consistently changing goals, and your why can change just as easily as your goals do. Remembering your why. If you can't remember your why and what drove you and what drives you every day, go back to the drawing board. It's not the right place. Dig deeper. I think those are really important key pieces to bring in. Just real quick, things to ask yourself when you're going through these is what's interesting about your founding story? What's unique about your business? How has your business evolved? Maybe what inspired you to even get to this part in your business? There's all kinds of things you can research, all kinds of different information out online to find out what, but you can also utilize us. If there's, you want some help kind of talking through things, we can actually make that happen for you as well. So finding your why is your passions, your weaknesses, your strengths, your values, your goals, and then testing and readjusting as needed.
Yeah. Sounds like the 7 steps to problem solving. I love that framework. No, but that's true. And when it comes to business, especially when you're first starting out, people are going to sniff right through the crap if your only why is the dollar. You got to have more than just money, because people will not resonate with that unless, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there, unless maybe you're in a multi-level marketing company or something like that. And that's probably pretty controversial, but I don't care about controversial. It's the truth. I mean, that's what they're for, is to get you to a better life. But, when it comes to a business that you have to start from scratch and you have to create your own products and your own systems and all of those things, then understanding why you're doing it past money and marketing yourself with that. If that why is only money, then all of the other things are going to be, I don't know, they're going to be dead, because
it makes it all surface level, and
it's all surface level.
Yeah,
it's very,
and people see that. I mean, they want something that's deep rooted. That's why so many successful businesses, if you see what sets them apart, and we use them as examples, like Nike is a good one. Like, their why. They make it known, like, from the rooftops. And why do we buy them? Because we buy into their why. We buy into their story. Right. We want to be a part of it. Yeah, because that, it's empowering. And so, like, that why makes other people feel some type of way. And that's like something to keep in mind too, is to let your why out. Like, it shouldn't be something that you like keep like to yourself. It should be something that you're also letting other people know. People just want to be like connected, and it's hard to connect with people when you're not having that conversation. And your why is such a great conversation starter.
So I want to bring up Michael finally put this in context for us here, and I want to share this because it's actually really, really powerful. And maybe not everybody's why is this deep. I know mine is, but let's go ahead and show this here. Hopefully this is okay with you, Michael. So Michael said, when I was born, the doctor told my mother that I would never walk, talk, feed myself, or dress myself. I honestly believe it broke something inside her. She told me that story when I was 15. I saw the tears in her eyes and the crack in her voice. It put me in a place of lack and less than for almost 30 years. So it made him feel less. It made me feel small, less than, and unequal. And I never want anyone to feel that way again. That last sentence, I never want anyone to feel that way again. When you think of your why, there is nothing stronger than you having such an emotion that makes you want to go out there and help everyone not have that same emotion. That's a strong why.
Yeah.
And when you think of it on that level, if you're trying to so leadership is all about providing purpose, direction, and motivation for your team. If you want to create influence and get those people to follow you and really understand your why, have something that connects with them on an emotional level. People just want to connect with other people. We are all emotional creatures. Some of us show it more than others, but at the end of the day, if you could have something that strong, maybe not quite that's a really, really strong one, but if you can have something that's strong enough to connect with another person on an emotional level, then you can connect with anyone on an emotional level.
And it's interesting too, because, while Michael and I are not the same, I can still, with that, I never want someone to feel that way again. I can connect to that. Mm-hmm. I'm an empath at heart. And, naturally, that's something that I can, I can feel that. So it's interesting that while we may be different and that, is not my story, I connect with that last statement, which already has drawn me in.
It almost makes you want to grab Michael and say, I want to show you to everybody I know so that you can tell your story.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And it does. It's great because it does all the things a why should. I mean, we connected with Michael on a very personal level, and it also got us feeling some type of way. So I don't have the same type of story, but I have my own story, and I can connect with Michael because Michael does do all these things on his own. He totally showed up those doctors, and to me, that's so empowering. So not only is his message he doesn't want to make people feel that kind of way, but he's like, look, don't listen to what other people say, because the doctors might have said that about me, but look at all I can do and what I have accomplished in my life. And so to me, that gets me hyped. That's so empowering, and that's such an amazing story. So Michael, you should totally be sharing your why all over the place.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, a lot of people say openly, Grant Cardone, John Maxwell, my mind is completely blank with names, but I would say anybody out there who has $1 billion business, they always point out that you should be able to speak your why, and not only just speak it to your target audience, but to get up on stage and speak it to millions. And, if you can say it as clearly as he just said it and make it a story, you're going to have buy-in from so many people. Your brand will grow. Just think about all of the second and third order effects that come out of creating a story around your business and having that come down to why you are so passionate about what you do. When you are passionate about what you do and it oozes from your ears, your eyes, your nose, and then comes out your mouth, everybody's going to want to follow your vision, because they're just like, what he's doing is so wonderful. What she is doing is so wonderful.
And to the opposite, and when you don't believe in your path and it's not fitting for what you believe in, and it is not your why, it's just there. I'm telling you, those vibes are felt by your audience and by your clients, because you don't have that passion behind you. It's a harder feat. It doesn't mean it can't be successful at it, but it's definitely going to be a harder feat for you to accomplish.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that we kind of hit everything. Does anyone have another comment for our audience?
I would love for more people that, if you're watching this, to share your why with us.
Yes.
I absolutely love learning about other people. I know all three of us do. That's why we started this. But how wonderful it would be for everyone to share their whys with each other, and maybe even if you're having trouble, getting some inspiration from other people's whys. So we would love to, anywhere you're sharing this, to let us know.
Yeah. And, that kind of comes back to my always message at the end of every video that I live stream on all of my platforms. Oh, you just got to compliment MK. Anyway,
I think we need to show this one.
you just wanted to click that button. Anyway,
You can give me control, and I think it's adorable, and I do think her hair looks cute today too. So
Thank you.
oh god, y'all are too much. All right, but anyway, if you see this video and the messaging in this video resonates with you, then it'll probably resonate with somebody else. So like this, please, subscribe to it, share it, but most importantly, make sure you leave a comment below. And also keep in mind that JMJ Business Strategies and the Trailblazing Entrepreneur Alliance Group, we are here to provide networking, community, connection, and education. And we can't do that without having a large group. So please let us know if you're interested in any of that so that we can get you set up, because we're happy to square you away. Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
day.